Right then, everyone, welcome to the channel. Welcome. We are live for the British Grand Prix qualifying. Let's see how we get on. So we're live on Shorts. We're live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. We're just live. We're live everywhere, apart from on the actual telly. We've got the British Grand Prix. So let me just, for those who are seeing us for the first time and the setup and what we've got here, this is the track, the British Grand Prix. When the drivers, let's just zoom in just a little bit on that. When the drivers do enter the track, you'll be able to see exactly where they are on track, and also all the timings, the tyres and all that sort of stuff on the left-hand side if you're watching on horizontal. If you're watching on short, everything's below me, the map, the timings and so on. I'm just going to bring out for those shorts just a little bit because it's not quite, there we go, that might be a little bit better. For those who are watching on shorts. Okay, so yeah, welcome. Welcome. Obviously, in the comments, let us know where in the world it is you are watching from. Apart from obviously watching it live on here with all the timings and the tracking and so on, I have got the TV coverage as well, so I will be able to explain in some detail at least what it is that is happening based on what I can see. So welcome everyone. Let's see where we are at with, right, I think we're back. Got some connection issues. There we go. I think we're back on. So I think we've had some connection issues, but we should be all right to go. Right. So as you can see, drivers are now making their way out onto the track. You should be able to see them. So the likes of Logan Sargent, Bottas and Zhou Guanyu, Ocon, Hamilton and Russell now out as well as they come out. It looks like people are going to start on the intermediate. It's been a lot of rain this morning. However, there was an F2 sprint race, which has just helped a little bit in terms of helping to suck off some of that water off the surface. So I can see the track is still quite wet, but you are starting to see some dry patches, some dry lines in there as well now. So I'm just going to double check the audio and whatnot. Bear me 2 seconds. Right, okay, good. We should be all right for the audio. Hope everyone is enjoying their weekend, by the way. Oh, it's going to be a very interesting race because, and the way these cars now set up is there is a bit of a gamble. You go into a Grand Prix weekend, you'd want to know what sort of setup you want on your car and so on, and the best way or the best way to put it, if a team thinks that there's likely to be rain on the Sunday on the race day, if it looks like it's going to be that way, you're going to go with a slightly higher downforce package, because it's all about, not so necessarily about outright pace, is it, when you've got wet track? It's about grip and therefore downforce, tire deg and so on. That is where the key is when it comes to a wet surface. But that all comes down to your package that you set up, whether you add or remove that downforce. Now, some teams will have looked and gone, oh, Sunday, we could gamble on a dry race or we could gamble on a wet race. And that will determine what type of package you take. And it's important because you can't really change your package once you've started that on that Saturday. Today, for example, whatever package you have got out on track now for qualifying is the package you're going to have tomorrow. If you're going for a higher downforce package because you're anticipating rain tomorrow, then obviously that's going to affect your outright pace in the dry. And so some teams are going to have taken that gamble, and other teams would have gone, let's set up for a dry race. We might not be as quick in qualifying during the wet, but we'll have the advantage tomorrow with the extra pace and so on. So it'll be interesting to see what teams have taken a gamble on a wet race tomorrow. Now, qualifying, obviously, right, okay, there's a lot of dark clouds, by the way. There could be rain in and out of the session. But at this moment in time, teams look like they're on intermediate tyres, because there is quite a lot of wets. In fact, you can see now on the screen all the green marked tyres. That is because the track it's wet. Or I say it's wet, it's damp. It's damp. It's got a lot of drying going on. I can see a lot of dry patches, but certainly not dry enough for slicks yet. But I suspect if we don't see any rain over the next sort of 20 minutes or so, I suspect teams will start to look to slicks. But the changing conditions could mean that those who delay going onto slicks or those who try to go onto slicks too soon could end up being a bit of a disaster for them. So let's see how this one pans out. Hamilton and Russell, by the way, are currently on hot laps. 1:37.7 for Hamilton. A little bit delayed, so I'm just going to pause the coverage just for 10 seconds to allow, because I can see it's 1:37.7, but on the Sky it's still a little bit behind, and we don't want to be too far behind. But yeah, so this is essentially what we're going to be waiting for and seeing what happens now for qualifying. And obviously we all want to see. Let's just pause that a little bit longer. We all obviously want to see a good. Everyone's going to be interested to see when Norris and Verstappen. Now, Verstappen's not really challenged towards the front of the grid in the first couple of practice sessions. But that said, when it comes down to flicking our engine mode up into qualifying mode and therefore race mode, we tend to find that that's where the Verstappen, where the Red Bull, as 1:37.5. Those lap times should start coming down, by the way, as the track improves without any rain. Every time a car goes round, it's just taking a bit more dampness off the track and giving the cars a bit more grip, and those lap times should just start coming down a little bit, hopefully. He says. But yeah, okay, so just have a look at what we've got going on here. Right. So, as we were. So, it's the British Grand Prix qualifying for those who have just joined. 1:37 is the time to beat so far, set by Verstappen. Norris goes second with 1:37.6. Still delayed. It's very delayed, I must admit. I want to try and get the coverage on what you're seeing on the screen to what I'm seeing on the TV. Otherwise, I'm reporting on it before it happens, or before you see it happens, or before I see it happens, or whatever. So, Oliver Behrman, by the way, look, who's gone there? That's a Ferrari's gone wide. That will have. Who was that? Sainz or Leclerc? Carlos Sainz is on the hot lap, so it must have been Leclerc. Yeah, Leclerc's not on the hot lap, so it must have been. It might have been on the hot lap, but he's not now, so it must have been Leclerc that just ran a bit wide and into a runoff area. There's a lot of dark clouds around. Let's see. So what we're seeing at the moment is sort of 2/3 of the track is dry, or 2/3 of the track is sort of inter, and 1/3 of the track is probably suitable for dry. But that said, over the next 20 minutes, I expect that we'll start. Don't know if we'll see slicks on this session, but if we don't get any rain, I certainly think we could be seeing slicks into Q2. So at the moment, we have got 10 minutes left, 11 minutes left of qualifying, and so far the elimination zone, Gasly, Sargent, Ricciardo, and both Hasses of Magnussen and Hulkenberg have yet to set a time. The fastest time so far is 1:37.5 and a 1:37.6 for Norris, 1:37.7 for Hamilton, and a 1:37.8 for Russell, who are all quite clear of Leclerc, by the way. He's on a 1:38 flat, but who's gone out on softs, by the way? We're now seeing a car on soft tyres. Is that a mistake? This will be interesting, because I don't see that. I didn't think that track was quite dry enough for dries yet. It is dry on some places, but the lack of grip you're going to get in the damp places is really going to make it slippery. So I'll be interested to see how this one works out. Hamilton goes with a 1:37.1, by the way, which shows, and 1:37.2 for Russell. So it shows how much the track is improving. But so far, I need Leclerc on the only Leclerc so far on the soft tyres. Let's see what times he puts in. He's not on a hot lap at the moment, so I don't know. That's I just it seems a bit mad to me at the moment, at least anyway. So let's see where we're keep an eye on Leclerc. He's still got half a lap to go before he gets round to start his flying lap. Oscar Piastri's just gone past him, as you can see on track on the on the tracker. Even Piastri is on a hot lap. Piastri currently P8. His best lap so far is a 1:38.2. He's on a personal best though. Green sector 1, green sector 2. Comes around the finish line and goes P3 with 1:37.3. Now, Leclerc started his hot lap. Let's keep an eye on Leclerc's sector times because that could be an interesting to see how Leclerc gets on his soft tyres. So Leclerc still, and Bottas has now gone on soft tyres as well. So a couple of teams have rolled the dice here and gone out on soft tyres. Everyone else is on inters. Perez now goes on soft tyres. And Ricciardo. So perhaps teams are looking and going soft tyres to one to be on. Just seeing a replay of Lando Norris here. So he's ran wide as well. So it could be that perhaps the track's drying up a little bit quicker than anticipated. It could be that he's overheated. Yeah, I suspect he's overheated those tyres. There was just no grip. No grip for Norris there. Right, so Leclerc is on a hot lap on the soft tyres. The first driver to start to start a hot lap with soft tyres on. Let's see what sort of times he puts in, and what sort of sectors he can manage. Hamilton's gone out on soft tyres now, so everyone seems to be moving now on towards the soft tyres. There's 7 minutes of qualifying, so whoever's not on soft tyres are going to have to get themselves in, get a fresh set of soft tyres, and get back out and do an out lap. So, yellow flag. Where's the yellow flag? Who is, of course, the yellow flag? Red flag. Oh, it's Perez. Sergio Perez. We have a red flag. He's beached. He's on the gravel. There we go. On the soft tyre. Well, Red Bull are going to be not very happy there. So, Perez is out of qualifying. And he's currently P10. He won't be able to start now this is okay, right, so just to explain, what does this mean? Perez is currently P10. He's out of the Grand Prix now. He's out of, not the Grand Prix, he's out of qualifying. Once you get recovered from the pitch, you don't re-enter qualifying. So he's out of qualifying. However, because he's not in the bottom 5, he still essentially qualifies to the next. So he would basically start at the back of set Q2. So he would essentially be starting tomorrow in P15. That said, everyone's now going out to soft tyres. I expect these times to start coming down. And when they start coming down, Perez won't be 10th. He's probably going to be in the bottom 5. And he's probably going to be, so I suspect he's going to be starting tomorrow close to, if not at the back of the grid tomorrow. Sergio Perez, that is not what he needed after what has been a difficult few races for him. Since signing his contract, he signed a new contract with Red Bull for a couple of years, and since then, it's all gone a bit Pete Tong for him, isn't it, really? From what I can see. So, let's see. I'm waiting for it to see a replay. So, I can see what's a red flag. What with the weather and so on, it's obviously everyone going on to slicks and so on. It's if one driver can end in that beached in that sand pit, if you like, then or in that gravel pit, then so can someone else in exactly the same spot, which means a collision. So obviously, now normally you would have yellow flags and whatnot, but I suspect they wanted, with only 7 minutes left to go, it makes sense to red flag it, get the car out of the way. Everyone's going to be back in the pits, and in fact, everyone is back in the pits, obviously, because it's a red flag. So. So as it stands, those currently facing elimination: Bottas, Gasly, Sargent, Ricciardo, and Hulkenberg is yet to set a time. And I'm just watching now Perez Team Radio. Let's get my headphones on so I can hear what's going on. So Perez is asking for it. Is saying he just needs to be pushed back onto the tarmac, but I don't believe. Yeah, I don't believe that is within the rules. That'll be it. Yeah. So Perez is out of qualifying. Yeah, I don't know what Perez is trying to achieve there. So for those who are just joining, by the way, we have a red flag at the British Grand Prix qualifying. Sergio Perez has beached it. He's gone off. I haven't seen the replay yet, so I can't say how he's managed to, but he's currently in the gravel. It's not a big crash. There's no impact or anything. It's just in the gravel. So now I can see Sergio Perez just watching. It's into cops. Ooh. So it's on a soft tyres. Obviously, it's the problem he's got. Sergio Perez here is, so soft tyres. We've got wet circuit or damp circuit rather. We've got dry. It's a damp track. It's a drying track. And some teams are on intermediate, some are on soft. Sergio Perez went onto the softs. And although a lot of drivers are starting to say softs is the best best tire to be on, there are still lots of damp patches. And you have to, and this is the risk. You go on the soft tyres, and for lots of the track, it's going to be dry enough to put your foot down and get some decent grip. But you hit one small little damp patch, and it'll be like on ice. You lose a lot of grip. You lose a lot of that momentum, a little skip out, and next thing you know, you're in the gravel. And that's what's really happened here. Interestingly. So we are just so now we are still on the red flag. We're just waiting. We haven't been given a restart time yet, but I don't know what. No. Oh, let's team radio. Yeah. Okay. So Sergio Perez, the team radio to his team was, can they just push me back on a track? And so Daniel Ricciardo actually nearly went off in exactly the same. Well, he went off to the runoff area. So between the racetrack and the gravel where Sergio Perez is beached or was beached, there's a runoff area, and Daniel Ricciardo, literally right behind Perez, also ran off onto the runoff area. Didn't get as far as the gravel like Sergio Perez did, but PSG radio. So there is so there is rain due. There is rain due any minute now. And teams are currently queuing on soft tyres because they want to get that lap in before the rain comes. Now, the problem is we haven't been given a restart time. So the Piastri's race engineers literally just said to Oscar Piastri and said, oh, there we go, resume at 50:19, which is in a minute. So what they basically said, look, Oscar, we haven't got restart time, but we need to get you in the queue because there could be rain very shortly, and we need you to try and get a lap in before that rain comes. Oh, starting to rain. Now, this is interesting. Who is going to stay on intermediate tyres? Well, right, so just listening here, we've got. Well, okay, so we have got radio messages coming through saying, so we've got some reports of rain starting to fall again, but only on limited parts of the track thus far. Everyone is basically trying to get out on the soft tyres. We're just waiting for, and there's green light. Have the teams got enough time to get round, do an out lap, get a big, and then get a quick lap in before the rain comes, when rain has started to fall in some places? This is very interesting now. So we're just waiting, for those who are just joining, we're just waiting for drivers to re-enter the track after a red flag. We've had a red flag. Sergio Perez, who beached that Red Bull. That is now, so we're now just waiting for the restart. And so the queue of cars, by the way, they're all queuing up, waiting for the lights to go green so they can re-enter the tracks. Well, you can't see anything going on at the moment because we're just waiting on the restart, which is due now. So I'm not entirely sure what we're waiting for, but they're all on soft tyres. They're all queuing up. Right, there we go. We've got the first cars coming on track. They're all queuing up. They're all queuing up, and they're all on soft tyres. But it started to rain on the track. They're all on soft tyres. They can't go back up the pit lane in reverse. Wow, this is... So, now, rain will come from turn 7, is what Norris has just been told on the radio message. This is very, very interesting now. So, this is now, okay, so this is what is going to happen now, or what could happen. All these teams on soft tyres, rain starting to come on what is already it was a damp but drying track. Now we've got rain starting to come. I can see rain in the distance coming. You can literally see it coming towards you on the helicopter shot. I can see on the TV now. Now, teams have got to get round quickly on an out lap, do a lap, and then get back into the pits. Now, are they going to be able to do this out lap and then get a lap in before it starts raining? Because once it starts raining again, that's it. You won't be able to set quicker times. And on top of that, we've only got 5 minutes and 54 seconds of qualifying to go. Wow. The wind has picked up and it's gusting, according to Daniel Ricciardo. Wow, it says... Here we go. So it's all to play for now. It is all to play for. So currently in the bottom 5 is Bottas, Gasly, Sargent, Ricciardo and Hulkenberg. But it's all going to change. Perez is currently P10, but Perez is out of qualifying thanks to beaching it. Bottas, by the way, fastest first sector of anyone, 2 seconds quicker than everyone else. That is because they're on the soft tyres and the quickest lap has been set on the intermediates. So everyone's going to be quicker. Perez is going to be starting tomorrow from the back of the grid. Make no mistake of that. Perez is going to be starting from the back of the grid. The 5-minute warning has just gone. Everyone's on soft tyres. The rain is on the way. Rain is on the way now. Can they get a quick lap in before this rain comes on the hard or on the dry tyres? Wow, what's going to happen here? Bottas, by the way, he's 3 seconds quicker than the current fastest lap time, which is by Hamilton. Zhou Wenyu now goes to quickest in Sector 2. He's also... So this is going to be... Whoever hasn't got a lap in on hard tyres, or whoever isn't out there on hard tyres at the moment, runs a real risk of dropping out of qualifying. Down, so Bottas goes with a 132.4, which we knew that's going to be quickest. Look at the difference, 137 to a 132. Here comes Zhou Wenyu. Now, everyone's probably only really going to get maybe 1, maybe 2 laps, unless it starts raining anytime soon. Magnussen, by the way, goes P2. Now, we've got the big boys to come yet. There goes Hulkenberg with a 131.9. Here comes Charles Leclerc, who's only just starting a hot lap. Okay. Here comes Piastri with a 130, quickest overall, second quicker. They said, by the way, stewards have noted an issue with both Aston Martins. Oh, Max Verstappen goes wide. He's in the gravel. Max Verstappen's in the gravel. That's going to be him abandoning his lap. Oh. And Verstappen is currently in P11, but everyone's lapping quick laps. There goes Hamilton, goes fourth. Wow. So Verstappen's going to have to still get back round. If it starts raining, Verstappen's in big trouble. Sainz is on the personal best, but he's just slow as sector 2. As the rain starting to arrive, this is now becoming very tense. Let's see who goes. So Sainz, Leclerc. Oh, Russell's had a time deleted. Well, if it starts raining now, a lot of cars are in trouble. Piastri and Norris, by the way, 130 and 131. But it doesn't seem to be times are getting quicker, though. They're not improving. The rain's starting to fall. Oh, the rain's starting to fall. If you haven't got a time in, Leclerc's only P15. He will go P10 though. Oh, this is suddenly very. Listen, I'm just having a look at Verstappen. Oh, he's very lucky. He's exactly where Perez was, onto the gravel. Oh dear. Well, Verstappen's in trouble. He's currently P15, and he's got to get a lap in. Oh, this could be. Ocon goes P9. So at this moment in time, Albon, Perez, Tsunoda, Gasly and Sargent. Oh, another car goes off. Exactly the same, but it's into cops, and we got rain. It's raining. Whoa, what? Verstappen needs a time. So does Daniel Ricciardo. Oh, Sainz is on a better lap as well. Wow, it's this. Here comes Ricciardo. What can Ricciardo do? Verstappen goes P3. He's got a lap in just when he needed it. Wow, Sainz goes P2. So you do a lap or two on these tyres, you warm them up a little bit, you still get some grip. So Perez, by the way, is out of the of qualifying. Leclerc goes from P9. 30 seconds left of qualifying. Piastri's coming in the pit. Are Piastri and Norris going to come back out? Or what's the weather going to do? Here comes Alex Albon, by the way. Goes P2. God, blimey. This is all. So Oscar Piastri's in the pits. Oscar Piastri should be okay. And Norris is pitted. So McLaren are going to have to hope that cars are suddenly going quicker. We've got Hamilton goes 129.5. Norris is in trouble here. This could be a real balls up by McLaren. Oh, Norris, what have McLaren done with Norris? What have McLaren done? What have McLaren done? They have pitted Norris, and everyone's on fast laps. And Ricciardo goes 6, Verstappen go, Sainz, Norris. Well, this is a massive mistake by McLaren. They have balls this up well and truly balls this up. This is a massive balls up by McLaren here. If Norris survives, then McLaren have Norris now P12. This is a massive balls up by McLaren. Wow. Tsunoda's still on a fast lap. He's going to go, 3, 4. It's going to be... Norris is now P13. It's going down the things. This is... Oh, I think he's... Right, it looks like... So, Sarge... Okay, right, so he's survived. Lando Norris is arguably the favourite for pole here, and he was nearly out because of total balls up in strategy by McLaren. Total balls up. What were they thinking pitting him? Everyone was out there on personal best laps. So what a... They need to have an inquest into who decided to pit him. Well, both McLarens were fortunate there. Not how you want it. Let's be honest, it's not how you want it. But they both make it through McLarens. Perez is out. Perez will start tomorrow. And Ocon's out as well. So, Perez starts, by the way, in that Red Bull P19 tomorrow. P19. So, out on qualifying as we wait for the next qualifying session to start. Bottas, Magnussen, Ocon, Perez and Gasly are all out of qualifying. Perez being out after beaching his car. We're going into cops. And funnily enough, even Verstappen went off and onto the gravel. He managed to keep the car going. If you go into the gravel, obviously, as long as you don't stall, as long as you don't stop, and you keep going, you make your way back to the track. But if you stop on the gravel and you need assistance to get out, then you are out of qualifying. Those are the rules. And Perez stopped on the gravel, which means the mechanics, that means the stewards had to come and recover that car, which means he is out of qualifying. Right, let's take a couple of minute breather whilst we wait for Q2 to start. And that was quite an intense session there. Right, so for those who are just joining, by the way, we are live, the British Grand Prix qualifying. You can see now on some track, that's because we've just finished Q1. We've just finished Q1. You can see, depending on what you're watching on, if you're watching on shorts and watching in vertical, then it's below me. If you're watching on normal widescreen or horizontal, to my right, left, you are watching. That is the timings. You can see the bottom five there. Bottas, Magnussen, Ocon, Perez and Gasly are all out of qualifying. Perez causing a red flag midway through the session, beaching the car, going into cops. Beached the car into the gravel, and that caused a red flag. And just towards the end of that session, people were on softs. It started to rain, and then it stopped raining. And some drivers, like the McLarens, really nearly ended up with Norris being out of that. Some of the cars pitted, thinking they were safe because the rain started to fall, and those on soft tyres weren't able to go any quicker. And then it didn't, and then the rain stopped, and the track got better, and cars started lapping quicker. But for those who pitted, it was too late to get back out again. But the McLarens who were in that group did survive and will be into Q2. Ocon's not happy, by the way. Not happy with the strategy. So there's been some... so Ocon's not happy with... So Max Verstappen, who went into the gravel, is their front... Yeah. So there is a little bit of damage there. A little bit of damage to the undercar of the Red Bull by the looks of things. That will cost a little bit. Don't forget, they can do some work during qualifying. Q2 will start at 15:34 local time. So you've got 2 minutes. Just listen to Zach Brown on the on the TV. So yeah, they so Zach just saying they thought they were safe, and it was a bit nail biting, but they thought it was safe. Possibly a bit more rain in Q2, and then it'll clear up. So it'll be interesting to see what teams do here. No more rain expected, so should be soft tyres then, by the looks of things. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting on the start of Q2. 2, which is due to start any minute now. And when it does, you will see the cars obviously take to the track on the graphic. Or those there, the graphic, if you're watching it on vertical. So we are live on YouTube and on Facebook. If you are new to the channel, we always appreciate a thumbs up. Just let us know you are enjoying the content. I don't believe there is any other channel that does what we're doing here for the F1 Fan Zone. In terms of the live coverage with the graphics and so on. So obviously, if anyone wants to subscribe and join us for the race and qualifying, not just at British Grand Prix, but on other races as well, feel free to do so. As always, we appreciate all the support. And also, if you want to put in the comment section where you're watching from, we'll obviously make sure you are, well, we'll obviously respond to that as well. Let us know where you're watching from. I can see a queue at the pit lane, by the way. I know you can't see it on the graphics, but there we go. You can see Alex Albon has just entered the track. So Alex Albon's the first one on. And followed by Sargent, followed by Zhou and Yu, etc. So cars are starting to enter the track now. And let's see how this one turns out. So we've got 14 minutes, 24 seconds left of qualifying for Q2. And for those who are new to Formula 1 and don't really know how qualifying works, basically qualifying, it's a knockout. So you have you had a 20-minute session for Q1 and the slowest 5 get eliminated. And then you have a 15 minutes Q2 session, which is where we are now. The slowest 5 will again be eliminated, and then we go to a top 10 shootout, and that basically sets up the grid for tomorrow's race. And we are obviously live from Silverstone, the British Grand Prix, and typical British weather. Can't tell if it's going to rain, can't tell if it's going to be sunny. We had a heat wave this time last week. It was lovely sunshine. And now it's raining, or it has been raining. It rained a lot this morning. It rained yesterday. Now, I see some more blue sky now, though. Right. Okay, so could there be more rain this session? Everyone's out on softs. Everyone's out on softs because the track is drying. Let's see what sort of timing's doing. The thing is although most of the track is dry, you only need one little wet patch. Probably worth keeping off the curbs as well. Because obviously if you hit the curbs and there's a bit of standing water on there, you will end up somewhere you don't want to end up off the track. So we'll keep, obviously, Alex Albon has set a purple first sector because he's the only one to set a first sector time. But let's see what sort of timings we're doing. We were getting into the high 120s, weren't we, in Q1? Let's see what we get now to Q2. It should, the track as it evolves, as it starts drying, as cars start ramping up the pressure, we should see time starting to come down. So let's see what sort of timings we can get here. Alex Albon is the first who will cross the line, followed by Sargent will be behind, followed by Zhou and Yu, I believe. They'll be your first 3 to cross the line as we come round. So Alex Albon makes his way round. He's just coming round the final bend, sets a lap time of 1:27.9. Now, that time's going to come down gradually over the course of the session. Logan Sargent will be next cross line, by the way. Logan Sargent does 1:29.4. So, nearly a second half. Zhou and Yu goes to 1:29. So, that was a good sign. So, 27.8, 27.9, 28.1. So, it shows that, Alex Albon's there. He's putting a decent time there. Alonso goes 1:27.6, though. As that faster car comes round, Ricciardo will go with Hulkenberg's 1:27.7. We've got a lot of the big boys, or I'd say the big boys, the big teams, the front runners, if you like, still to come through. Max Verstappen set the green personal best first sector, obviously, as they would, but let's see what he's not. He's actually a 10th down on Alonso at the moment. Piastri goes with a 127.6. Here comes Leclerc, by the way. Leclerc goes 6, fastest only, 128.5. See how Verstappen goes. He's going to only P4, 127.7. Behind Hulkenberg. There goes Sainz, 127.5. Norris still, Norris, Hamilton, Russell, and Ricciardo all still to get a lap. Let's see what Norris can do. He's coming round. Hamilton only goes P8. George Russell coming round as well. George Russell followed by Norris will let's see what they can do. George Russell goes. Oh, Norris goes quickest of all overall. Russell only goes, yeah, Russell, he must have aborted halfway through, maybe. I'm not sure. A couple of seconds off there. Norris 127.4. A 10th quicker than Sainz. And so it seems to me, now it could be that teams are doing a fast lap and cool down lap, then a fast lap. Because of the cooler conditions as well, it is going to obviously affect the ability to warm up those tyres. The soft tyres are going to give you grip, but you want them to get into that peak temperature range. And on the damper, cooler track, these tyres didn't feel good by Leclerc, by the way. We don't know who's on new soft tyres, by the way. Obviously, the McLaren's pitting early in P1 and Q1, sorry, does mean that perhaps they saved an extra set of soft tyres. 127.4 being the quickest time so far. Hamilton goes third now with a 127.5 for Russell. When he goes P9, here comes Alex Albon, who's on a personal best, goes P4, 127.5. Here comes Ricciardo, only a 1, and Sargent goes into P9. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Someone just shoot me. So Norris goes into the pit, by the way. I wonder what that's a risk, I think, at this stage, going to the pit. If that track continues to improve, it's a big risk. So Alonso goes 127.2. Leclerc's on a flying lap at the moment as well. Leclerc will be the next to cross the line, actually, on his flying lap. You can see from the graphic. So Leclerc, who is currently in P14, he needs a lap time. We've only got a few minutes left. And he goes P8. No, he's not. I mean, that's not safe for P10 at all. Don't forget, you need to be in the top 10. By the time the checkered flag comes in 7 minutes' time, you need to be in the top 10. Leclerc's only P9 at the moment. Oscar Piastri needs to put in a lap as well. Carlos Sainz goes with 127.1. Norris is now in an out lap. So Piastri just starting a flying lap. Sargent. So we've just seen, I think, Alex Albon and Sargent are into the pits. Zhou Guanyu is going into the pits. So those on a hot lap at the moment. I think Lance Stroll. Piastri's on a hot lap. Lando Norris is on an out lap. Verstappen, I believe, is either on an in or a cool down lap. Leclerc, I think, might be on a hot lap. He needs a lap because he's currently only P9. Let's see how this changes or affects things. So Norris is on an out lap. Verstappen is on either an in or a cool down lap. Fastest second sector of anyone, by the way, by Piastri. So we'll see what Piastri can do. He's on for a quick lap here. Needs one because he's currently P8. Norris comes to start a flying lap. He's got there's 5 minutes left of qualifying. Let's see what Piastri does. He's coming around the final bend. This will be the quickest. 1:26.9. Goes quickest. This will be interesting now. So now we're moving into the business end of qualifying. You've got 4 minutes and 56 seconds to go out and get a time that's going to get you into the top 10 on a track which should be getting quicker as it keeps drying. And as more rubber goes down and the track evolves, we should see time start to come down. So, is Verstappen in the pits? Verstappen, I think, is in the pits, yeah. P4. Certainly not quick enough in my view at the moment, or you couldn't say he's going to be safe into P10 and coming in P4. He will need to come back out again. Let's see what other cars are doing if the track is going to continue to dry and get quicker. Mercedes are struggling to not quite as quick as they were this morning, are they, the Mercedes? Russell's on an out lap. It's currently P12. Here comes Logan Sargent. Oh, it's Hulkenberg, sorry. Sargent has just gone through, starting an out lap, I think, or starting a quick lap. Here comes George Russell to start a flying lap. Now the track's starting to get a bit more busy. Now cars are coming in to try and set a lap in. Now, I think Norris is on Is Norris on a hot lap? I don't think he is. I think he's on a warm-up lap. So he might be starting a hot lap here. Yeah, 1:49. So he's obviously starting. So Hulkenberg's coming through now. Goes fastest with 1:26.8. And that shows what like I said, when the... So Verstappen's still in the pits. I mean, what do they do here? Are they going to be able to get him out, get a lap in? He's only got 3 minutes to do so. But others are coming quicker now. So they're going to have to. I mean, what are Red Bull going to do here? I wonder. Sargent is the next to come through. As teams are now starting to ramp up the pressure a little bit. Here goes Logan Sargent goes P4. So Verstappen is at risk at the moment. Unless he gets back out and gets a lap in, he is at risk with his damaged car. Judge Russell goes quick as 1:26.7 as the track continues to dry. Joan Yu is in the bottom 5. He will have another lap though, or will have another chance. Hamilton goes through. 1:26.7. Here comes Lando Norris. He's on a quick rack. 1:26.5. Right, Verstappen's left the pits. He's got 2 minutes to get round and start a lap. Now it takes a minute and a half if you're on a flying lap. So he's going to have to get his with damage to his car. So we've got a bit of a gap now. Hulkenberg is not on a hot lap, I don't believe. I'm not sure Piastri is either. But Leclerc, by the way, P12 for Leclerc at the moment. He's got to get around and get a lap in. So now the pressure's starting to ramp up for those who are currently in the bottom. You got Verstappen he needs a perfect lap. With a damaged car, he needs a perfect lap. And he hasn't started his lap yet. So let's see how that one plays out. We've got both. So we've got Leclerc currently P12. He's just starting his flying lap now. Here comes Carlos Sainz, currently P6. He's not really safe either, to be honest with you. He starts a flying lap. Yuki Tsunoda, he is currently P14. He is starting a flying lap. So we've got a few starting flying laps now. Alex Albon, who's done very well, by the way, so far. He is currently P10. Goes P5. So Verstappen's currently P10, which is why he needs a quick lap. Let's remove. Logan Sargent's coming through. I wonder if he'll start a flying lap again. It looks like he is. Here comes Verstappen to start his flying lap with 30 seconds to go. So this is it now. For those who are just starting your lap, if you haven't started your lap yet, you're pushing it very fine. Here comes George Russell. He needs... well, actually, no, he's in P2. He's okay. He's P2. He's starting another lap, though. Here comes Lance Stroll, currently P11. And here comes Zhou Enyu, who is currently P13. So times are all now trying to start a flying lap. Norris gets through, starts, and they just make the flag. Cheers to the checkered flag, by the way. So Hulkenberg comes through, goes with a 127 flat, so he doesn't improve his time. Here comes Oscar Piastri, currently P6. Goes P2 with a 126.7. And here comes Charles Leclerc now. He's only P7, only 7th. He's at risk. Here comes Carlos Sainz, who's currently P8, who goes P5. Here comes Yuki Tsunoda, who is currently P14, can go P10. Wow, so Alonso is goes P2. Leclerc's at risk here. Here comes Logan Sargent, by the way, who stays 10th. Here comes Max Verstappen. He needs a good lap here. Only P6, though. Only P6. Should be enough to get him through. But here comes George Russell, by the way. He's currently P4th. Got Lance Stroll still to come. And Zhou Enyu, Ricardo. They've got a few. George Russell goes P2 for 126.7. Here comes Lance Stroll. And Lance Stroll gets in the top 10. Leclerc's out. Leclerc is out of qualifying in Q2. Ferraris have struggled. Ricardo comes through in P15. Norris pits. Hulkenberg is already out, so that is it now. We are. That's it. Wow. Leclerc out. Team Radio. We're out, right? Yes, we are out. It's the message back to Charles Leclerc. Leclerc out. The Ferrari and Sainz only P7. That Ferrari just hasn't. It's like I don't know if they've just gone slower with their upgrades have just not worked, or everyone's upgrades have just worked better over the last, it's not just this race, but the last sort of 3-4 races. And there you go. So out in Q2 are Charles Leclerc, who will start tomorrow on P11. Logan Sargent, who starts P12 tomorrow. Yuki Tsunoda, good qualifying for Sargent, by the way, to get up to P12. Yuki Tsunoda, who starts P13. Zhou Enyu starts P14. And Daniel Ricciardo starts in P15. We already know P16 tomorrow will be Bottas. P17, Magnussen. And with Hulkenberg, by the way, qualifying for Q3, that's put a little bit of pressure on. Esteban Ocon, P18. Sergio Perez, after beaching his Ferrari, will start tomorrow in P19. And Gasly starts at the back in P20. So we've got a few minutes now until Q3. Got a few minutes now until Q3. So in Q3, the top 10 shootout will involve Norris, Russell, Alonso, Piastri, Hamilton, Verstappen, with damage to that car, by the way. Just take a side note on that, put a pin in that. Sainz, Hulkenberg, and Alex Albon, by the way, and Lance Stroll. So both Aston Martins making it through to Q3 for what seems to be a bit of a rarity these days at the moment. Hulkenberg, by the way, brilliant job in that Haas when Magnussen only P17. Starts P17 tomorrow. Right, pin a note on that. Put a pin in that. I'll be right back. I must get myself a drink. I'm running on empty here. So give me 2 seconds. I'll be back in just a minute. talking to myself as I'm on mute. We are back. So this could be a very interesting qualifying, but Norris has got to be the favourite, hasn't he? Surely. Over a tenth quicker in Q2 there. Right. So have we got more rain on the way? We're hearing that it should remain dry now. Should remain dry for the rest of the qualifying. Right, so it's going to be, according to, well, Zach Brown, the CEO of McLaren, has predicted that it's a straight up fight between McLaren and Mercedes for pole, in his view. Make of that what you will. We're just waiting. We start in 2 minutes. 2 minutes until the start of Q2. Right. Well, I'm ready for Q3. I'm ready for Q3. Let's. Zach Brown, CEO of McLaren, believes it's a fight between McLaren and Mercedes. We'll see on that because the Mercedes haven't quite been quite there, have they, in terms of on the same tune. But that said, Alonso mixed up a little bit by chucking that car in the P3. But again, it's a lot of it in terms of positioning. There should be, as the track continues to dry, rubber laid down and so on, it does, makes it interesting. I think a lot of this is going to be about who can be the last to cross the line per se. But that said, as we're getting later into the day, it's 4 o'clock here now in UK time. The temperature's starting to drop as well. So the track might be starting to dry, but the track temperature could start dropping with the air temperature, which makes it harder to get the grip. So it's finding that peak window, basically. So we'll see how this one plays out. We're just waiting for cars to re-enter the track. Here comes Max Verstappen with his damaged car. And Alex Albon, by the way. So he's going to be first out. Alex Albon will be first out. Used tyres for Max Verstappen. Oh, no, it's brand new set for Verstappen. Brand new set. Now, I believe the McLarens might have had an extra set of tyres, essentially. All right. So, Alex Albon will be the first to start the flying lap and therefore the first to cross the line, followed by Max Verstappen, followed by Piastri, followed by Alonso, followed by Norris, followed by Sainz, followed by Hulkenberg. That's the order in which they are going to be starting and finishing their first flying lap. We've got no more rain scheduled, so we should be okay now in terms of the weather. We've got no more rain scheduled, so it should be a dry run. Now, the question is as cars are going round, warming the tyres up, you lay rubber down on the surface, and what is a drying surface? Grip level should be better and the track should continue to evolve and improve as cars doing their laps. So we should see time start to come down. Now, it'll be interesting to see. I think McLaren will be very disappointed if they didn't get on pole here, I'll be honest. Max Verstappen, by the way, for those who are just joining Red Bull, had a bit of a mare today, Red Bulls. First, Sergio Perez beached his Red Bull in Q1, out of Q1, starts tomorrow on P19. Max Verstappen also in Q1, into the same gravel pit, managed to keep his car going and get back round to the pits, but there has been some reported damage to the underside of Max Verstappen's car. Now, how much that is affecting, it's open for interpretation, I guess, but he certainly hasn't been as quick as the McLarens and the Mercedes since then. So we'll see, because we all know what Red Bull do and turn that engine mode up, and suddenly it's like they found a second engine which they managed to put on somewhere else. So we'll see how this one plans out. Verstappen, fastest first sector of anyone thus far. But he is on a brand new set of soft tyres, but we're not sure. Norris goes quickest. Norris has got a purple sector 1 for Lando Norris. So we'll see what times come through. The first person to cross the line will be Alex Albon. Oh, someone else has now got a fastest first sector. I think it might have been possibly Sainz. Let's see what... Right, Alex Albon goes through for 127 flats. Let's see what Verstappen does. It's going to be the 126s, but goes 126.3. Here comes Oscar Piastri. What can Oscar Piastri do? Oscar Piastri comes through with a 126.2. Here comes Fernando Alonso. What can you do, Fernando? Third fastest, 126.9. Here comes Lando Norris. Goes fastest, provisional pole, 126 flat by a couple of tenths. Whoa. Hamilton is flying. He's on the fastest first sector of anyone. Sainz pops up into fourth. Leclerc, by the way, didn't make Q3. Stroll goes P5. Out, in front of Alonso. It's going to be very, very close between the Mercedes and McLarens here. Here comes Lewis Hamilton round the final bend, and he will go P2. It's currently a British P1, P2 as it stands. A tenth and a half of Lando Norris. George Russell goes quickest on provisional pole by 6 1/1000ths. It's a British 1, 2, 3 at the moment in the British Grand Prix. We've never seen it, by the way. We've never seen a British 1, 2, 3. Never seen it. Oh, it's going to be tight. Verstappen in P5. You won't like that starting tomorrow. Right in the middle of the pack there. Wow, this is... Now, Verstappen used a brand new set of soft tyres there as well. So has he got another brand new set to put on? I'm not sure. He ruined the set, didn't he, going into the gravel? Oh, right. So we've got 5 minutes left, 5.5 minutes left of qualifying. Fastest sectors, by the way. Fastest first sector, Hamilton. Fastest second sector, Norris. Fastest third sector, Russell. Let's see what let's see what's. I mean, it's the track should evolve a little bit more. I mean, these times may not be. I mean, there may be scope to improve on these current times as well. So we are the last 5 minutes. Teams are coming in, getting a new set of tyres on and out for another flying lap. Here comes Hamilton into the pits there, and Russell. Oh, by the way, that's not good when Hulkenberg is out qualifying both Ferraris. That's not good. That's terrible. If you're Ferrari and you've been out qualified by your customer team. Very, very, very tight. Going to be very close between the McLarens and the Mercedes here. But it does seem to be a fight between McLaren and Mercedes. Right. So. Oh, dear. It's going to be with 3 minutes to go. So everyone's leaving it as late as they can, as you do. Leaving it as late as they can to go out as late as possible. Everyone's going to want to be one of the last across the line. But, right, the tyre covers are off on Max Verstappen's car. Only Silverstone, by the way. Only Silverstone in July can people be sat there wearing coats. All the engineers and mechanics and whatnot, because it's obviously a little bit cooler out there today. Here come the Mercedes. Here they all come now. Here they all come. Here they come. Looks like the McLaren's going to be one of the last across the line. So Alex Albon, just like in the first half of Q3, is going to be the first to come out and set a lap. He's currently P10. Followed by Stroll, followed by Hulkenberg. So the basically, yeah, I mean, this is going to be very tight now. Welcome, by the way, to the F1 fan saying, if you are new here, we're just about to watch the final stint of Q3. This is the bit now. This is where your drivers earn the money. This is where the team, the engineers, etc., earn the money. The strategists earning the money. This is the business end now. This is where you set your time for the race tomorrow, and you have got one opportunity at this stage to improve your time. There goes the 2 minute warning. 2 minute warning gone, and not everyone's out of the pit lane yet. The teams are really pushing. Some of these teams are really pushing it late. And for just a quick recap, whilst we're waiting for everyone to do the outlap, just a quick recap of what's happened so far. We had a red flag from Sergio Perez, who beached into the gravel his Red Bull in Q1. And he starts from P19 tomorrow. Charles Leclerc out as in P11. Just lacked the pace. There was no issues. There was no mechanical issues. There was no incident or anything. The Ferrari of Leclerc was just out on pure right pace. Just was not able to get into Q3. So Alex Albon will be the first one to cross the line and start his final lap of qualifying of Q3, as we are finally here to the final shootout now to determine our top 10 for tomorrow's race. Alex Albon starts, crosses the line, and is off up the straight. Lance Stroll will be the second across the line. If you're joining, you've joined just at the right moment as we watch the final part of qualifying. Hulkenberg starts and then Verstappen. So as it stands, Russell, Norris, Hamilton make up the top three on the grid, but they're all just coming round to start their final lap. Verstappen's just starting his fast lap now. Followed by Hamilton, followed by Norris. And here comes Verstappen. He has carried a bit of damage. So, is that correct? This is not a Verstappen. Verstappen's just had to correct. He's just putting the power on. He's just had a little bit of a moment, and he's had to. So he's going to have lost a bit of time there. But he lost a bit of time. And he's actually gone slower through sector 1. Got a yellow sector 1. So, here we go. Alex Albon will be the first one. Everyone's going slower. Everyone's going slower than what they were in the first sector. No one's done a personal best. This will be interesting. So, Alex Albon. Here comes Alex Albon, who goes P8. First one through is Alex Albon. Lance Stroll comes through. Currently P9 goes P8. Hulkenberg, by the way, is currently P6 ahead of both Ferraris. Hulkenberg, what can you do? 1:26.4 is current time. What can he do? Goes P5. Here comes Verstappen. Only P4. Only P4. Only P4 for Hamilton. Hamilton, no. Currently P3. What can he do? Hamilton. Hamilton takes pole. 1:25.9. Nice pits. Russell coming round. Can Russell take pole from Hamilton? Russell takes pole. Here comes Carlos Sainz. What can Carlos Sainz do? Sainz doesn't go fast at all as Piastri. It is a Mercedes 1-2, followed by Norris. It is a British 1-2-3 for the first time ever at the British Grand Prix. Can you believe it? A British 1-2-3. Russell, Hamilton, Norris, 1-2-3 for the British Grand Prix tomorrow. Verstappen only P4 with that damage on that Red Bull. Wow. And breathe. Russell takes pole. Oh, goodness me. Well, what a race we're set up for tomorrow. What a race, because the McLarens looked a lot better on race pace. We're going to have a really interesting into turn 1 with Verstappen. Norris, by the way, is going to be the battle into turn 1 as well. What a race we're set up for tomorrow. And you can watch the race right here live on the F1 Fan Zone. If you haven't already subscribed, feel free to subscribe. And join us tomorrow for the race. We'll be live for the race, live tracking, live commentary, and so on. We're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and yeah. There we go, ladies and gents. So, quick recap. This is the grid for tomorrow. George Russell, followed by Lewis Hamilton, takes on the front row. Hamilton and Verstappen on row 2. Piastri and Hulkenberg on row 3. Hulkenberg, by the way, out-qualifying both Ferraris. That's another story to keep an eye on, because that's terrible for Ferrari to be beaten by a customer team who have 1,000 people less in their team, by the way. Sainz and Stroll make up the next row, followed by Alex Albon and Alonso. Alex Albon, P9 there, by the way. Great result for him. And then we go Leclerc, P11. Leclerc and Sargent will start, followed by Tsunogo and Yuki Tsunogo and Zhou and Yu, Ricardo Bottas, Magnussen, Ocon, Perez starting on the back row alongside Gasly. That is your grid lineup for tomorrow. Provisionally, just barring any penalties and whatnot, but that's what is the provisional grid for tomorrow. We will be back live for the race tomorrow. Oh, and breathe, and we will see you all then. I hope you've enjoyed. Give us a thumbs up if you have, and we'll be back tomorrow. Yeah. And that's that. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all tomorrow.